Okay, magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Welcome back to our session in Philippine Politics and Governance. So, samahan niyo muli ako. Ako nga pala, si Ma'am Cheryl Ibalya, para sa ating susunod na session. Okay, so ang topic natin ngayon is about relationship of nation and states in the context of globalization. So, mag-umpisa na po tayo. Okay, so review muna tayo bago tayo tumungo sa ating discussion sa next topic. Okay, so meron akong mga terminologies na nandito na ang mga terminologies na to ay may kinalaman doon sa previous lesson natin. So try to identify what are these concept or terms which is related to our previous topic. Okay, so you can comment down your answer in the comment section of this live Facebook live stream. Okay, so number 1, it is the capacity to cause effects in impact or change either socially or politically. It is the capacity to cause effects, impact, or change either socially or politically. Okay. Tingnan natin kung tama yung sagot ninyo. So, very good. That is power. So, next. It is the ability to control people through the possession of knowledge, experience, or judgment that other person needs but does not have. Okay, so it is the ability to control people through the possession of knowledge, experience, or judgment that other person needs but does not have. So what is this type of power? Very good. So it is expert power. For the last item we have here, it is controlling people by using punishment or threat. It is controlling people by using punishment or threat. So what is this? Let us see. So it is coercive power. Okay, so much for that. So we will now proceed to our next topic. So, but before that, I have here two images which is related to our topic. Okay, so we have here the first image in the left side. We can see different images. So, what do you think is the first image in the left side symbolizes? Okay, so the first image shows the different companies or multinational companies. Okay, so how about on the right side? So ano naman po ang pinapakita sa right side? Okay, very good. So you can see the transportation, yung different pagta-travel po ng mga tao, okay, around the world. So these two concepts or these two images symbolizes or describe a specific concept. And this concept is called globalization. So globalization of state can be seen from the food that we eat. So like French fries, burgers, ramen, pizza. So down to the clothes that we are wearing. So such as the jerseys, okay, the skinny jeans, okay, shorts. So And even those event globalization is also evident from watching different shows or movies or TV programs such as the NBA games, yung mga Disney movies, yung K-drama, and yung mga different anime, kagaya ng Naruto Shippuden. So, yung mga yan ay nagpapakita ng globalization, ng concept ng globalization. So, globalization, human activities, yung mga ginagawa po natin, across the world, may tinatawag tayong mga different transportation, human activities across the world, interwoven transportation and even communication, and also the modern technology. So nowadays, we can easily get information. We can easily access different information and data using the World Wide Web. So messages can be transmitted using only your cell phone or your tablet, your laptop, your computer, and other devices. So your beliefs, other beliefs of the people or ideas can also easily be acquired, okay, through these devices or modern technology devices. And even virus and diseases are easily transmitted due to the migration and travel between nation and state. For example, yung nangyayari ngayon sa ating pandemic. So, isa po yan sa mga concept ng globalization. Okay, so let us now define the different concepts related to globalization. The first one is state. So what is state? Okay, so let us define state. According to James Garner, okay, so James Garner defines state as a community of persons more or less numerous, occupying a definite portion of territory, completely free of external control, and possessing an organized government to which a great body of inhabitants render habitual obedience. From this definition, we can see the four elements of the state. So, what are the four elements of the state based from these definitions of James Garner? We have the four elements here. The first element is the people. Okay? So, when we say people, it refers to the inhabitants or the population, the mass population who is residing or living in the specific state. So Philippines, the current population of the Philippines as of 2021 is 111 million, 111 million. And nag-i-increase pa po siya ng nag-i-increase kada araw. As of 2020, tayo po ang pinaka-8. We are ranked as 8th most populated country in Asia. And we are 13th most populated country in the world. So, people in the Philippines compose of different ethnicities and cultures. So, it is found throughout the islands. Okay, so majority of the people in the Philippines is we are composed of diverse culture, diverse groups of people. So, because of our historical background, so kung natatandaan nyo, tayo ay na-conquer, tayo po ay na-colonize ng Spain, ng America, and Japan. Aside from the colonization, kaya kaya diverse yung ating kultura, yung ating population, yung composition ng people, it's because of trade, okay? Yung travel, yung migration na tinatawag. So majority of the people in the Philippines are called the Lowland Austronesian. So it is mixed with mestizo background. So yung mga Aitas, Negritos, we also have highlands groups from the minority group of people in the Philippines. Okay, so we also have indigenous population, so the Malayan archipelago composed of the Malays. We also have different migrants from the United States, Spain. Okay, so dahil po yan sa sa colonization na naganap. We also have ethnic groups from Saudi Arabia, yung mga Arabo. So we also have Japanese, yung mga Chinese, marami na rin Chinese dito sa Pilipinas, and even yung mga Indians. Okay? So yung ang tawag nga nila ay Bombay, pero hindi po sila, hindi talaga ang tamang tawag doon ay Bombay, but they are called the Indians. Okay, so we also have Europeans and Latin Americans. Okay, marami na pong nagmamigrate dito sa Pilipinas. So people, as one of the elements of the state, a state cannot be called a state if there is no people living or inhabited in a specific territory. Okay, there without people, there can be no functionaries to govern. So wala pong pangungunahan, walang pamumunuan, and there's no subject to govern. So kaya wala pong tinatawag na state. So that is the first element of the state. The second one is the territory. So what is the territory? So when we say territory, it composed of the portion of the earth, which is composed of the different domain. So what are those domain? We have the terrestrial, yung land po yan, yung pluvial, okay, yung maritime and the aerial. Okay, so when we say aerial, is composed of the airspace above. Okay, while the fluvial, we are talking about, or we're referring about the waters and those waters that connecting the islands of the Philippine archipelago. And we also have the terrestrial or the land mass. Okay, so these are the domains under the Philippine territory kasi we are an archipelagic country. Okay, so the Philippines is an archipelago. So we have 7,641 islands to be exact, with a total area of 300,000 square kilometers. Okay, so we are the world's fifth largest island country. Okay, ang pinakamalaki po ay ang Indonesia. Okay, so that is the second elements of the state. The third element is the sovereignty. Okay, so what is this? So it refers to the supreme and absolute power within the boundary or the territorial boundary of a specific state. So sa madaling salita, it is the power to command or enforce obedience among the people of the certain state. So within the jurisdiction of the internal sovereignty. So we have two classification. We have the internal sovereignty and the external. Kapag ka-internal, it refers to the state to command, o yung the power of the state to command or enforce obedience among its people, while the external, it's the independence or freedom from the control or from the foreign control. So that is sovereignty. So next, the last one is government. So when we say government, it refers to the institution or the agency or the instrumentalities through which the state maintains social order, so provide public service and enforce binding decisions. So sa pamamagitan po ng mga batas, okay? So when we say government, it composed of an administration composed of different people who is governing the state. So we have sometimes government is also called as an aggregate of men or the administration. Yung po yung tinatawag natin government. Okay. The next concept is nation. So what is nation? According to Mendoza and Meligrito, nation is a cultural entities or grouping of people joined together by shared values and traditions. So when we say nation, it is characterized by a collective identity of people who share same history, language, customs, and geography. So when we say nation, it is more on the psychological and emotional aspect of people who join and share common common identity, common language, common culture. So that is nation. UNESCO defined nation as one where the great majority are conscious of a common identity and they share the same culture. So they share common culture. So definitely they have characteristics were defined by borders and territories. So they have the same type of people and then organized by race or background, and generally they speak the same or one language na tinatawag, ano? Okay, so what are the distinctions between these two concepts, the state and the nation? So we have here the distinction between these two concepts. So the first one is state is more on political or legal political, while nation is more on racial, socio-cultural aspect. Okay, so paano po yun? So when we say state, that more on political, so it means that state is more concerned on the political organization. They are more concerned on the security and welfare or needs of the people. So it is more on the external human actions. So the legality or the entity. On the other hand, nation is united or a unit of people or population which is full of emotional, spiritual, and psychological bonds. So a nation has little to do with the physical needs, while state, they are more concerned of the physical needs or the needs, the welfares of the people. So that is the first distinction between the two. The second one, the state exited not only at present but also in the ancient period. While nation, it is a modern phenomenon. Kung matatandaan po natin, the term state was used during the ancient period. Kung natatandaan niyo yung lungsod-estado na tinatawag o yung mga city-state sa Mesopotamia, 'di ba? Sa Indus River na tinatawag natin doon sa India. Okay. So, yung mga yan ay mas naunang nag-exist kaysa sa term na nation. So, until now, yung state ay nag-exist pa rin yung salitang ito. While nation, it is modern. Modern, mas huli siyang nag-emerge kaysa sa state. Yung nation, yung salitang nation o term na nation ay during the medieval era or period ito na-develop yung salitang ito or nagawa itong salitang ito. Okay, so another distinction is state is something to do with people organized for law within a definite territory. Okay, while nation, people psychologically join together with common will to live together. So in this distinction, we can say that state possession of a definite territory is essential for state, but for nation, it is not a requirement to have a nation, to have a territory for a nation. So borderless yung nation, while state, it is within that given territory or border. So when we say people organized for a law within a definite territory, ibig sabihin ng state is the physical element of state. So more on territorial entity po siya. So while in a nation, dahil hindi essential na requirement yung territory, so a nation can survive even without a fixed territory. Okay, so ang nagbaband lang together sa nation ay yung common love for their motherland. Okay, so that is the source of unity among the people, yung love of the country or the sense of nationalism. Okay, so for example, kung natatandaan ninyo yung mga Jews o yung pinapatay ni Hitler nung panahon ni Hitler na merong concept ng nation ang mga Jews. Kahit wala sila sa isang territory, pero nararamdaman nila na they have the same culture, they have the same psychological and cultural feelings about each other. So this is what we call nation. So ulitin natin ha, state is limited for a fixed territory. So may boundaries. Okay? Pero ang nation, borderless. Okay? Hindi essential para sa nation yung magkaroon ng fixed territory. Okay? So kasi ang nation is based on a common ethnicity, history and traditions, and aspirations as well. Okay, another, we have a state must be a sovereign, and a state is inhabited by heterogeneous groups of people. While nation, people continue as a nation even they do not remain sovereign. So inhabited by homogeneous groups of people. Okay, so in this distinction, we can say that a state must be sovereign. So ibig sabihin po nito kung hindi may tuturing na state ang isang kung hindi po siya malaya while nation katulad ng naalala natin tayo ay isang bansa nung panahon na sinakop tayo ng mga Kastila, ng mga Amerikano at ng mga Hapones. So nation po ang tawag doon pero we don't have a state kasi we are governed by someone or by the foreign people, yung mga foreigners po. So kailangan po, yun po yung mahalaga sa pagiging state, yung magkaroon ng sovereignty. Okay? Internal and external po. Okay, so that is the distinctions between state and nation. So let us now move to the next concept, which is the nation state. So nabuo naman yung tinatawag ng mga nation state. So what is nation state? When we say nation state, it is about one where the great majority are conscious of a common identity and share the same culture. So katulad nung sa atin, no? We are nation, we are nation at the same time we are a state. So yun po yung Pilipinas. Okay? Next, globalization. So what is globalization? Globalization. So according to Tabahen and Pulma, globalization is the process of forging international connections in different domains such as politics, economics, religion, and socio-cultural dimensions. So forging international connections, the interconnectivity among the people in terms of politics, economic, religion, and socio-cultural dimensions. So it refers to the increasing interdependence of the different domains, of the different aspects such as the market system, the production of the different goods and services throughout the world. So regardless of borders or territory, the cross-border flows of the capital, the flow of goods and services, the exchange of the different technology that we have today. Okay, so through globalization, it makes the world borderless. What does it mean? There's no more physical boundaries nowadays because of globalization. So nagiging less relevant na yung borders na tinatawag because of the free flow of goods and services in the world market. Okay, so according to Thomas Friedman, so si Thomas Friedman ay isang manunulat po, Nobel Prize winner po siya. He wrote a book titled The World is Flat. So this book is about a brief history of the 21st century. Okay, so in the book, The World is Flat, he mentioned or he explained that globalization flattened the world as it is the primary agent of changes that is taking place in our time. So swift advances in technology, so which put people all over the world in touch as never forces. Okay, as never, just in a blink of an eye, just right in our own house, we can search for different ideas, information, data. We can even communicate with other people just using our own cell phone, our tablet, our laptop. Okay, he further elaborated how the flattening of the world happened at the dawn of the 21st century. So what does it mean? Okay, Friedman pointed out in his book that the world has essentially become flat. The playing field has been leveled. Okay, so individuals now are able to make substantial impact on the world. Before kasi, limited lang yung flow of different ideas, services, mga different products. Okay, but now there's no longer dati kasi big businesses lang ang nakakapag-run, send ng mga goods and services sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo through export and import na tinatawag. But because of globalization, na-flatten yung world, okay, as if yung kausap mo na taga-west, nandyan lang sa harapan mo, kita mo siya flat. Di ba ang flat, walang nakaharang, di ba? Kita mo na agad siya. So that is globalization. Okay, kaya tinawag na the world is flat according to Thomas Friedman. Okay, there are different types of globalization. Okay, so we have three types of globalization. The first one is the economic globalization. Okay, so ano yung economic globalization? So this type of globalization focuses on the integration or the unification of the international financial markets, so as well as the multinational corporation that have a significant influence of the international markets. So mapapansin natin na marami na pong mga products and services na meron sa bansa natin from other country. It's because of the economic globalization. We can order products using our own cellphone, mag-order lang po tayo, at makakarating na po ito sa bahay natin, door to door pa po itong i-deliver. So that is part of economic globalization. Okay. So dito sa economic globalization, nagkakaroon ang aim nito ay magkaroon ng free flow of goods and services. Ang ibang kasama dito yung tinatawag natin babawasan yung rate o yung bayad sa taripa sa mga ini-export o ini-import ng mga product at babaan naman yung binabayaran para sa pag-export ng mga product. So that is the first type of globalization. The second one is the political globalization. So this type of globalization, it's about the different policies to be implemented to facilitate international trade and commerce. So it is about the different international organization or international policies, okay, that deals with the institution to implement these different policies in the national government as well. So kasama dito yung policy ng United Nations, policy ng International Monetary Fund, the World Trade Organization. Kaya siya political globalization. Part of the political globalization ay yung mga ginaganap na mga different summits, yung mga different na meeting na ina-attend ng mga different state leaders or head of state ng ating mga bansa, ng ating mga pinuno ng bawat bansa. Katulad ng ina-attend ng ating pangulo na ASEAN Summit, okay, isang halimbawa yan ng political globalization. The next one or the last one, we have the cultural globalization. So when we say cultural globalization, it refers to the social factors. So these social factors causes cultures to converge, such as increase in communication and transportation brought about by the different technology. So for example, yung kagaya ng na-mention ko kanina, yung different food, yung different types of modern technology, yung different ideas, the social media, diba? Because of different this diverse technology, na-adapt po natin yung iba't ibang kultura na meron sa ibang bansa without leaving our own house. Ang gagawin lang natin, search mo yung Google, search mo yung yung mga videos na nasa YouTube, and even yung TikTok, ang dami na natin na-adapt sa Facebook, nakikita natin yung ano yung mga kultura ng ibang tao sa ibang bansa. Okay, so dahil dito, may tinatawag tayong mga different effects or impact of globalization. So these impacts can be positive or negative. So itong impact na to, the impact of globalization is still a debatable issue. So bakit siya debatable? Debatable in a sense na which is more, ano yung mas matindi yung impact or yung positive ba? Mas positive ba yung impact ng globalization or negative ba? Mas nakakatulong ba si globalization o mas nagiging dahilan pa siya ng mas marami pang problema? Some believe that it has a positive impact more than a negative impact towards the development of the nation state. So because it promotes economic progress and development. Because of globalization kasi nagkakaroon ng na tinatawag na agreement, 'di ba? Nagkakaroon ng pagtutulungan ng mga bansa lalo na pagka mayroong mga problema just like today, pandemic. So through globalization, nagkakaroon ng connection, interconnectivity ang mga bansa para magkaroon ng tulungan at masolve ang mga problema na concern din ng ibang bansa. Through globalization din daw ay nagkakaroon ng iba't ibang trabaho. Nagkikreate ito ng job and dahil sa pag-create ng job, nagkakaroon ng income ang mga tao. So for example, in our country, napakarami na ngayong mga multinational companies sa ating bansa. Matatanda, nag-boom yung tinatawag nating call center, di ba? Yung mga BPOs na tinatawag. Okay? On the other hand, sabi naman ng iba, ina-argue ng iba, mas negative ang impact ng globalization. Bakit? Because it weakens the nation state. Why? Because you have to compete for the trade. You have to compete for the products and services. Dito na nagsasabi na dahil sa globalization, yung mga local products natin ay hindi na napapansin, kaya marami ng mga magsasaka ang binebenta na lang ang mga lupain nila para may convert into subdivision and other and para may convert sa subdivision at iba pang establishmento kasi mas mababa na yung presyo ng produkto nila kapag binebenta nila kumpara sa mga imported products. Another negative effect daw or impact ng globalization is doon sa kultura. Dahil sa pag-adapt sa globalization, mas nalilimutan na daw ng mga tao yung sariling kultura. Dahil sa tinatawag nating neo-colonialization, yung adaptation, yung pag-a-adapt ng mga different, yung katulad yung mga pagkain, yung mga kanta, yung mga OPM di na gaano pinapansin, it's because mas ginugusto na ng mga tao ngayon yung iba pang mga song na galing sa ibang bansa. So those are some of the arguments between the positive and the negative impacts of globalization. So it's up to you. So sa iyong sariling konteksto, ano ba ang epekto sa iyo? Alin bang mas mabigat? Ang globalization ba ay mas nakakatulong sa iyo or mas ito ba ay nagiging dahilan ng mas marami pang problema? So yan ang dapat na sagutin mo bilang isang mag-aaral. So much for that. Thank you for listening today. So I hope you learned something from this video about the relationship of states and nations in the context of globalization. If you have any questions about this topic, you can contact me in my Facebook account. Okay, so much for this. Maraming salamat sa pagsama ngayon sa live sa Facebook live stream na to. So, see you next time para sa ating next topic. Bye-bye!